Let me guess. You've been told your whole life to be nice. Smile more. Don't cause a scene. Be the cool girl who goes with the flow. Well, how's that working out for you? Because if you're here, chances are being the nice girl hasn't gotten you the respect, the loyalty, or the treatment you deserve from men. And deep down, you're starting to realize something that most people are too afraid to admit. Nice isn't working. In fact, it might be costing you everything. Welcome, spicy ladies. This is not another fluffy self-love pep talk. This is where we get real. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why being nice is not the key to being respected, and what actually makes men pay attention, take you seriously, and step up or step out. No manipulation, no games, just power. I'm going to break down exactly how women accidentally train men to disrespect them, and how to flip the script starting today. If you've ever been ghosted, walked all over, or felt like no matter how much you give, you're never enough, this video is your turning point. Grab a notebook because we're going in deep. And by the end of this video, you won't just feel more powerful. You'll know exactly what to do with that power. Let's go. Hashtag the problem most women don't see coming. When you're too nice, you don't come across as kind. You come across as safe. And when a man decides you're safe, he doesn't respect you. He uses you, not always maliciously, but definitely opportunistically. We've been conditioned through media, parenting, and social expectations to believe that being endlessly accommodating, always available, and emotionally open makes us attractive, that it will somehow convince someone to love us more deeply. But what actually happens is the opposite. Men don't respect women who constantly sacrifice themselves to meet his needs, avoid conflict, or maintain harmony. They may enjoy the benefits of your niceness in the short term, but over time, they start seeing you as someone they can get away with more and more. You become the woman who forgives too easily, the one who doesn't speak up when something bothers her, the one who shrinks herself just to avoid being too much. And while you might think you're doing the right thing by being low maintenance or easy to love, the truth is you're training him to treat you like you don't matter. Being too nice masks your fear of rejection, your fear of confrontation, your fear of not being chosen. And that fear becomes your prison. You stop setting boundaries. You excuse bad behavior. You convince yourself that if you just love harder or wait long enough, he'll finally see your worth. But listen closely. He already sees what you tolerate. And respect is built by what you don't allow. Men respect women who are kind but not compliant, loving but not self-abandoning, compassionate but not afraid to walk away when standards aren't met. When you're too nice, you're often operating from guilt or desire to be liked, not from self-respect. And people can feel that energy, especially men who are looking for someone they can push limits with. They test boundaries not because they're evil, but because they want to know who they're dealing with. Are you someone who can be molded to fit their convenience? Or are you someone who stands in her truth, even when it's uncomfortable? So, no, being too nice isn't just ineffective. It's dangerous to your self-worth. It invites behavior that chips away at your confidence over time. It keeps you in situations that drain you, all because you're afraid to make someone else uncomfortable by saying no or this doesn't work for me. Let me be clear. Being a good person doesn't require you to be a doormat. You can be kind and assertive, soft and strong. You can choose yourself without needing permission. And once you stop performing niceness to earn love and instead start embodying self-respect, everything changes, not just in dating, but in how you walk through life. Because the truth is, men don't fall for the woman who gives them everything. They fall for the woman who values herself enough to say, "You don't get access to me without effort, respect, and consistency." Number one, let's talk about how to make that shift. Starting right now, let's get something straight. Men don't respect niceness. They respect boundaries. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most women think being nice is a boundary. You think that by being agreeable, go with the flow, and not asking for too much, you're setting a tone of peace and love. But what you're actually doing is erasing yourself. Niceness is passive. Boundaries are active. Niceness says, "I hope you treat me well." Boundaries say, "Here's how I require to be treated." One is wishful thinking. The other is self-leadership. The reason men respect boundaries over niceness is simple. Boundaries create certainty. When a woman has standards and, more importantly, follows through on them, she shows that she knows who she is and what she deserves. And that energy, that's where the real power lives. Not in begging for love through self-sacrifice, but in knowing your value and refusing to trade it for crumbs. Men will absolutely test your boundaries consciously or unconsciously. They want to know, are you for real, or are you just saying what sounds good? And when you fold at the first sign of pressure, when you say it's fine when it's not fine, when you accept less than what you asked for, they learn exactly how little effort they need to give. But when you calmly but firmly hold your boundary without drama, without guilt, you send a different message. You say, I like you, but I don't need you. I want connection, but not at the cost of my self-respect. And that level of emotional independence, that's rare, that's respected, and yes, that's attractive. It doesn't mean you have to be cold or unkind. In fact, boundaries allow you to be more loving because you're not constantly building resentment from unmet needs. You're honest. You're direct. You say what works and what doesn't. And that clarity gives people a chance to meet you there or walk away, which is a win either way. Think about it. Who do you respect more? The person who always says yes, even when it's inconvenient, or the person who knows when to say no and doesn't apologize for it? Niceness can be manipulated. Boundaries can't. Not unless you let them be. If you want to change the way men show up in your life, stop trying to inspire respect and start requiring it. That's what boundaries do. They draw the line between what's acceptable and what's not. They teach others how to treat you without you having to raise your voice or lower your standards. And the best part, you don't have to justify them. A man who respects himself will never be threatened by a woman who respects herself. In fact, he'll be drawn to it because deep respect is what creates real connection, not blind agreeableness. Niceness makes you liked. Boundaries make you respected. And the women who get both, they never compromise a second for first. Right now, if you are still watching, I hope this video can help you. Your comments motivate me so much, so I can make more videos which you like. So hit that subscribe button and leave me a message. Let's continue. Number 2, bringing it down to the real world. What does high value behavior actually look like? Not in theory, but in real conversations, real moments, and real choices that women make every single day. Because being a high value woman isn't about dressing a certain way or playing hard to get. It's about how you carry yourself and what you allow. Here's an example. A man texts you late at night with a casual, "What you doing?" after not speaking to you all day or maybe all week. A low-value reaction. You reply instantly, acting like you've just been waiting for him to remember you exist. A high-value woman, she doesn't reward inconsistency with access. She either doesn't respond or replies the next day with calm clarity like, "Hey, I'm not available for last-minute plans, but feel free to reach out with real notice next time." Direct, respectful, no drama, but no self-betrayal either. Another example. You go on a few great dates. Then he starts pulling back. A low-value move. You start chasing, double texting, wondering what you did wrong. A high-value move. You match his effort. You let him pull back without internalizing it. You don't beg for clarity. You are clarity. You're not afraid of losing him because you know you're not chasing anyone who's unsure about you. Or, picture this. You're in a relationship and he makes a joke at your expense in front of his friends. You could laugh it off to avoid conflict. Or you could pull him aside after and say, "I value being treated with respect even in casual moments. That joke didn't feel okay to me." That's high-value behavior. Not because you start a fight, but because you stood up for yourself with grace. High-value women don't let things slide just to keep the peace. They create peace by setting standards. It also shows up in your energy. When you walk into a room, do you seek validation or do you bring presence? High-value women don't compete. They don't shrink. They don't over-explain. They trust their energy to speak louder than their words. They don't need every man to want them because they know the right ones will recognize them without needing to be convinced. And most importantly, high-value women take accountability. If they've been too nice, too passive, too accommodating in the past, they don't shame themselves. They just pivot. They upgrade their patterns. Not because they're trying to prove anything, but because they know who they're becoming. So no, high-value behavior isn't about perfection. It's about alignment. Alignment with your values, your worth, your time, and your future. And when that becomes your standard, you stop attracting confusion. You stop settling. You start drawing in people and partners who see you clearly and treat you accordingly. Because when your behavior reflects your worth, respect becomes the bare minimum. Number 3, the respect reset. If you've been watching and realizing, wow, I've been way too nice. I've let things slide. I haven't been standing in my worth. Good. That awareness is the first shift. But now it's time for something even more powerful. The respect reset. This is the moment where everything changes. Not because other people suddenly treat you better, but because you start treating yourself differently. You don't need a dramatic confrontation. You don't need to make some public declaration. The respect reset is quiet, internal, personal. It starts with decision. From now on, I don't abandon myself to be accepted by others. Let's break it down. The next time someone crosses a line, instead of rationalizing it or letting it slide, you pause. You check in with yourself. And if it doesn't feel good, you address it calmly, clearly. That doesn't work for me. That sentence alone can shift dynamics fast. If someone gives you mixed signals, you stop chasing clarity from them and give it to yourself. If you're unsure about me, I'm sure about what I deserve. I'm stepping back. That's a reset. You stop explaining your boundaries. You stop fearing that being direct will make people leave. Let them. Your job isn't to convince someone you're worthy. Your job is to embody that worth in how you move, how you speak, and what you tolerate. You also start honoring your own energy. You don't respond to disrespect with more effort. You don't engage in emotional labor trying to fix, prove, or chase. You give your energy where it's matched, not where it's tested. And here's the part no one talks about. When you start resetting the way you show up, some people won't like it. They were benefiting from your silence, your softness, your need to be liked. So, when you stop handing them that version of you, they might fall away. Let them. The respect reset is not about being liked. It's about being aligned. And when you're aligned, you stop tolerating half-hearted connections. You lose interest in people who don't respect your presence. You become unavailable to the things that used to break you. It's also in the small choices. Saying no without guilt. Saying yes without fear. Taking up space without apologizing. Walking away without over-explaining. The shift doesn't happen overnight. But it does happen the moment you decide that your peace, your power, and your self-respect are non-negotiable. The version of you who is tired of being nice to the point of self-betrayal. She's done. The new version, the one who sets the tone, not waits for it. She's here. And once you make this internal reset, the world around you starts to shift. Not because they've changed, but because you have. And now, they either rise to meet you or they fall away. Either way, you win. Number 4, the exact words to use when someone crosses a line. Let's talk about the exact words to use when someone crosses the line. Because it's one thing to know your boundaries. It's another to voice them with power. So let's get real. It's one thing to feel disrespected. It's another to say something in the moment. That's where most women freeze. We get stuck between not wanting to seem dramatic and not wanting to be walked over. But silence is a decision. And often it's a decision that teaches people how to treat you. So let's change that. I'm giving you real scripts you can use the moment someone crosses a line, says something out of pocket, or shows up with half-hearted energy. These aren't aggressive. They're grounded. They don't create conflict. They create clarity. Let's say he makes a joke at your expense. You don't laugh and move on. You calmly say, "That didn't sit right with me. Let's keep it respectful." You don't have to lecture him. You just let him know without raising your voice that there's a line he crossed and you noticed. He texts you out of the blue at midnight after ignoring you all day. You don't ghost, but you don't reward that either. Hey, I don't do last-minute plans. I value intentional energy. Simple, direct, no shade, just standards. He starts getting emotionally distant, barely engaging, but still wants your attention when it's convenient for him. I'm not available for inconsistent energy. If something shifted, I'd rather talk about it than guess. That's a high-value woman. You don't chase, you check. And if he doesn't step up, you step out. If he comments on your boundaries, saying you're too much or too sensitive, my boundaries aren't up for debate. If they feel like too much, that's okay. But I'm not shrinking them to make anyone comfortable. That one usually ends a conversation right there. Here's another one. Let's say he's pressuring you into something emotionally, physically, or otherwise. This doesn't feel good to me, and I'm not going to move forward with something that doesn't align with my comfort or clarity. Boom. You can just say no. You said why without making about him. That's emotional maturity. And when someone apologizes, but you're not ready to move forward, I appreciate your apology. I still need some space to process before I decide what's next for me. You're not being cold. You're protecting your energy, and you're reminding them that you decide what happens next, not their words alone. You don't need long explanations. You don't need to be harsh. You just need to be clear. Because the most powerful thing you can say isn't something clever or intimidating. It's something anchored in self-worth. You are not here to make everyone feel comfortable at your own expense. You're not here to teach grown men how to be decent, but you are here to communicate your worth with calm, direct language and let their response show you everything you need to know. Number 5, breaking free from people-pleasing. Let's call it out. People-pleasing is not kindness. It's fear. It's self-abandonment dressed up as generosity. And if you've been stuck in that cycle, over-giving, over-apologizing, saying yes when your gut screams no, it's not because you're weak. It's because at some point you were taught that being accepted was safer than being honest. But let's get one thing straight. People-pleasing doesn't protect you. It keeps you small. It disconnects you from your intuition. And it's the fastest way to build resentment toward others and toward yourself. So, if you're ready to stop, here's what you need to understand. The opposite of people-pleasing isn't being rude or selfish. It's being self-led. It's learning how to choose yourself in moments when it would be easier to make someone else comfortable. That's the shift. So what do you do instead? You pause. That's step 1. The people-pleaser inside you reacts instantly. You feel pressure to fix, agree, accommodate. But the empowered version of you pauses. She breathes. She checks in. Is this true for me? Do I actually want to say yes? Or am I afraid of what they'll think if I don't? That space between stimulus and response, that's your power. Then comes the second shift. You learn how to disappoint people without guilt. Because guess what? If you're living honestly, someone's going to be uncomfortable. Let them be. Your job is not to manage other people's emotional reactions. Your job is to honor your own alignment. And if someone's love for you depends on you always saying yes, that's not love. That's control. You also stop explaining every boundary like it's a courtroom defense. High-value women don't beg for understanding. They state what's real. Instead of, I'm sorry, I just have a lot going on. I hope that's okay. You say, I won't be able to make it. Thanks for understanding. Done. No guilt, no emotional labor. Just clarity. People-pleasing also dies when you stop outsourcing your worth. You don't need people to like you to feel secure. You don't need validation to feel visible. You start building identity from within, not from reactions. That's when you stop morphing into whoever they need you to be and start becoming who you actually are. And finally, this is big. You learn how to sit with the discomfort of not being liked. That tight feeling in your chest. That's just a detox from years of tying your value to external approval. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means you're healing. Because here's the truth. The people who matter won't leave when you start being honest. And the ones who do, they're proof of why you needed this shift in the first place. People-pleasing gets you liked. Self-respect gets you free. And from here on out, your freedom comes first. Number 6, final message. You were never meant to beg for respect. If you made it this far, I want you to really let this sink in. You were never meant to beg for respect. You were never meant to shrink, silence, or sacrifice yourself just to feel chosen. You were built for more. And deep down, you've always known that this journey you're on, it's not about becoming someone else. It's about returning to who you were before the world convinced you that being agreeable was the only way to be loved. The truth is, being nice at the expense of your self-worth isn't love. It's survival. It's a habit built in fear. And that habit ends today. You don't need to become cold or closed off to protect yourself. That's not strength. That's armor. Real strength is choosing to stay open, soft, and kind without abandoning yourself in the process. It's knowing when to walk away. It's trusting that your silence can be powerful, but your voice is allowed to take up space. You are not too much. You're just too powerful for the people who benefit from your silence. From this moment on, I want you to move differently, speak differently, love differently. Start asking, does this honor me? Does this reflect who I am or who I'm afraid to be without? Am I choosing peace or avoiding conflict? Your life will change the moment you realize that you're not here to prove your worth. You're here to protect it. You don't chase love. You allow it. You don't overextend to be accepted. You align with what reflects your values. And yes, some people will fall away when you start showing up in your full power. But the right ones won't be intimidated. They'll feel relieved because the real ones, they don't want the watered-down version of you. They want the whole woman, the one who's clear, grounded, unshakable. So, let this be your permission slip. You can be kind and still say no. You can be loving and still walk away. You can care deeply and still protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. You don't owe anyone access to you just because you've always given it. From here on out, access to you is earned through effort, through consistency, through respect. You already have everything you need inside you. You've always had it. All you needed was a reminder and the tools to act on it. Now you have both. So, walk forward differently. Speak your truth. Take up space. Set the tone. Because you don't need to be nicer. You need to be real. And when you are, the right people won't just stay. They'll rise. Now go show them what a woman who respects herself looks like. So now that you've seen the truth about being too nice, set clear boundaries, and started shifting your energy, what's next? You take your power back, not by waiting for someone to treat you right, but by deciding what you will and won't allow from this moment forward. This isn't about suddenly becoming perfect. This isn't about flipping a switch and being unshakably confident 24/7. Growth doesn't work like that. But what it is about is making the daily decision to choose yourself. Even when it's uncomfortable, even when it means walking away, even when you're afraid someone won't like it. Because every time you honor your gut feeling, every time you pause before giving a knee-jerk yes, every time you speak up when something feels off, you reinforce a new standard, a new identity, a new level of self-respect. You're not here to be chosen by someone else. You're here to choose yourself first, so that the people you allow into your life are a reflection of the love, effort, and respect you already give yourself. And the truth is, taking your power back doesn't always look like a big dramatic moment. Sometimes it's quiet. It's saying less. It's walking away from a conversation that drains you. It's protecting your time. It's recognizing that not everyone deserves access to your softness, your energy, your presence. This is your life, your boundaries, your energy. No one else will protect them for you. You have to be the one to do it. And the beautiful part, the more you do, the easier it gets. Your confidence builds, your standards sharpen, and your peace becomes non-negotiable. So what's next? You lead your life with clarity, with confidence, with grace, because you're not here to be nice. You're here to be respected, and that starts right now.